it's just, is it sports washing? Is it all of this? There's a whole host of questions that's over it, and FIFA have gone, we're not going to politicize it, but we're going to give it to the highest bidder, and that seems to be who it is. And the FA backed it. Where's the FA's bollocks in all of this? They backed it and said, yeah, we're happy with it. Tuchel's come out and said, no, I support that decision from the FA. And you think, is it the right thing?
No, I agree. It's just, it seems mental. It just seems corrupt to me. End of story. Podcast. Hello, welcome to the FDP. This is not our second take of an introduction to the podcast this week, but how are you doing, Mr. William Salisbury?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't bring up the first intro because I reckon we'd have been taken off air.
Yeah, it was
immediately. Gino D'Acampo would have come over and said, that is not an Italian accent, get off.
Do you think he's got a fake Italian accent?
It's Gino Sheffield D'Acampo.
Because it feels too strong, doesn't it?
It does a bit. He's been in trouble, isn't he? I think he's got caught up in this Gregg Wallace malarkey, isn't he, with some of his...
Yeah, apparently, but it's because he always gets his bum out on everything, doesn't he?
He's
always
an inappropriate guy. Yeah, he is just inappropriate, isn't he? And he's been caught up. There's Gregg Wallace is like, I can't go down on my own here. What about Gino? Gino's just there like, and everyone's like, what about Gino? It's bad though, isn't it?
It is. It's terrible.
Honestly. Me and Selge met Gregg Wallace like a year or so ago. Yeah, this thing that we went to, and he was a complete bellend. It was no surprise, really, was it?
No. Did he try anything with Selge? Was he?
No, I don't think she's a woman of that age who take offence to things,
Oh. Well, we know Selge likes to listen to the beginning of this, so I'm buzzing to see her reaction to this. And I'm seeing her on Sunday.
She's only in the other room, so,
Fair enough.
It's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. How was how's your weekend? How are you? Wagwan, my G.
Yeah, not bad, mate. Weekend was over in a flash, as it always is.
Yeah, feel you.
But yeah, not bad. How about you?
Yeah, it was all right, mate. Same as you. It went over very quickly. I don't really know what I did.
Yeah, I was just trying to think. We went to Bluewater on Saturday, which was...
Yes, I remember you saying, how was that? That was awful.
It was actually all right. We got straight in, went to Zizzi's. We got there about 1, went to Zizzi's.
Priorities. I like it.
Priorities were there. I had something to eat, then walked around the shops. Not too bad, actually. It wasn't... there's always people that just sort of step right in the way, isn't there? There's always people who just I know, I'm just going to go and step in the way. Yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, that wasn't too bad, to be fair. Got back and watched Chris win the Strictly, which was pretty good.
Nice. Very nice. Cool.
How about
like a fun-filled Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, Sunday was my first outing, just me and Maisie.
Oh, okay. How'd it go?
Yeah, I loved it. But I do also appreciate the sort of mothers that walk around with prams in shops now, because no fucker moves for you.
Yeah.
I hit 5 or 6 people.
Do you know what? I was literally just going to say, you're the type of person that would ram into people.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, I asked this woman to move 3 times in Card Factory. And you know how tight it is in Card Factory anyway.
What a shot to take a buggy in before Christmas.
I know. Well, the thing is, I went at 10:30, so it was reasonably quiet, but Card Factory is always busy. Everyone wants to buy a card. I don't know why. Doesn't matter what time of year, what time of day you go in.
Well, December, surely you know why.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, just clarifying, William, that any other time of the day, week, month and year, it's always busy. It's always fuckers buying a card. But this woman, I asked her 3 times, excuse me, please. Excuse me. Sorry, do you mind just moving over a little bit? So I just pushed it into the back of her leg.
She do it. What happened?
She was like, oh, you just hit me. I was like, I know. I asked you to move 3 fucking times, but you didn't. I just walked past. Yeah, mate, I'm sick. She was so rude. She fucking knew. She's, if I look that way, she did that little glance over, just so I can see him coming and he wants to go past. I thought, you fucking rude bastard. So fuck you. So whoever you are, I don't regret it. I hope you're listening. I don't regret it. But I did bump into a friend of yours in S.
Okay.
So it was nice to see him. Old Lil Griff.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of like a sort of beard and stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, it's better than yours as well.
Mate, everyone's is better than mine. I'll be honest, mine's actually perfectly covered at the moment by the microphone. I've just noticed, which is quite good. And that wasn't intentional either.
You've got like a D'Artagnan thing going on, just the top and the...
Yeah. It goes underneath that.
You'd make a good D'Artagnan, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. I could just imagine you.
Okay. But yeah, other than that, it was a really nice day. A couple of hours with her. It's a ball ache getting kids in and out of the bloody car and into a pram, though, isn't it? Keep collapsing the pram, get the pram back out. I was like, fuck's sake.
Welcome to parenting hell. Yeah, mate, it is absolutely a nightmare. Just to leave the house with a child is a ball ache. It gets easier, don't get me wrong. But yeah, because it's different, I guess, because at least when you're doing it, you're in control of putting shoes, coat, blah, blah, blah on. When they get to kind of, the later into the single digits, they then responsible for putting their shoes and coat on. And so the other day, I asked Jack to get ready, said, we're leaving in 10 minutes. Can you make sure you're ready to leave? And he said, yeah, I'll be up in 10 minutes. And I said, no, we're going to get ready to leave in 10 minutes. And he said, all right, I'll be up in 2 then. It's like, why? They have to have that element of control over their own life, which is fine. But don't take the piss.
But where do you think he gets it from?
Probably his mum.
Always his mum, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't be you.
No, exactly, yeah. He asked me the other day.
Read out some of our WhatsApp messages and just see.
He asked me the other day if he could have a look at the next furball that Cinnamon has because he's never seen one before. I was like, that is such a boy thing to ask, isn't it?
Fair play for curiosity, though. He's up for it.
Exactly. Never killed the cat, did it?
No. Did it in the end?
No, I think it might have done, yeah.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
Should we move on to some football?
Yeah, let's move on to some football, Will. Where do you want to start?
Well, you had some interesting news, didn't you? Live from the BBC, but wasn't verified by the BBC yet. But it's probably going to be verified soon by the BBC.
Yeah, it's not verified yet, but Kelly Cates potentially going to be the new Match of the Day presenter alongside Gabby Logan and Mark Chapman as a trio. Going to keep rotating it, so it won't be just one set host. Interesting. But Kelly Cates obviously massive for Sky Sports, so that's a massive coup from the BBC to get her.
Yeah, but I feel like the BBC haven't learnt their lesson from Top Gear when they decided to have 50,000 different hosts of Top Gear. Didn't work. No one liked it. There wasn't any chemistry or
wow,
camaraderie.
Chemistry is a very good thing you point out. So Kelly Cates has worked with Mark Chapman and Gabby Logan before because she's ex-BBC. And they're all very good friends. So there is chemistry there. But the difference is they're not going to be working together.
No, that's my point.
So
what you've got with Lineker, Shearer, Richards, Murphy when he's on, you had Theo Walcott and
Ashley Williams.
Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
And that's not as good when it's better when Shearer's there because there's that banter and
but so that will come with time though. That will come.
No, if you're rotating it, I don't think it will. I think it's a bad idea, and I think the BBC should do better and just get one person.
Maybe, but Kelly Cates works well with Micah Richards and works with him regularly on Sky. So you've got that chemistry there. Micah's pretty much an A-lister now for them. He's part of the A-team for it, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess.
Obviously, him and Shearer have that bant because of the podcast as well. So if it's him, Shearer and Kelly Cates, that can work.
Do you know who I think should have got it?
Me and you.
Other than me and you?
Me.
Jill Scott.
Jill Scott. I wonder if she went for it. Probably not.
Yeah. She's very good, though.
She is very good.
I do like her. Anyway.
I'm surprised Ramesh didn't get it. He's on everything else, isn't he?
That is very true.
Can you imagine seeing Ramesh and Tom Davis? I would love that. For now, Match of the Day special.
That would be brilliant. Not as good as an FDP Match of the Day special, but second best to that would be excellent.
Close. Very close.
Yeah.
Very close. But yeah, that could be an interesting little dynamic, though. I do agree. It'd be a bit weird having 3 presenters floating around. Because that'll be between Match of the Day and Match of the Day 2. So I assume Chappers will still do Match of the Day 2. Gabby Logan as a backup, maybe.
Yeah, I honestly don't know, mate. It's not been confirmed or anything yet by the BBC, but it will be, because we have it on good authority that it will be. And when it is, we'll be able to tell you more. But until then, we can only hypothesise.
Hypothesise, indeed. Go on, you want to talk about some FIFA-related news?
I did. Did you see, have you seen the FIFA World Cup? So was it for 2030, 2034, the decisions that have been made to host, for each host nation to host within that nation of the World Cup in that nation, or depending on the 2030 nations.
Yeah. Do you want to say nation any more times in that sentence?
I could do, but I decided to pull back and just do it the amount that it needed.
First off, what a joke. What an absolute joke. I think it's ridiculous. The next one is spread across America, Canada, and Mexico, let alone across, what is it, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, isn't it?
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Arguably, though, closer than it is in Toronto to Guadalajara, or where I think it's Guadalajara's got a game.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it absolutely is. But it just seems ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't get why we need 3 host nations for where, Portugal have hosted a major tournament, Spain have hosted a major tournament. I don't know. I don't think Morocco has hosted. No, they might have done the AFCON, actually.
I think they've done AFCON, yeah.
But even so, why can't one of them just get it? Why does it need, why can't we let Africa host a World Cup again? I thought they did quite well in South Africa.
Well, the whole point of it was, like with the bids and stuff, was to rotate continents, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
now,
the
and
theory.
also it's back at Saudi and the Middle East.
Well, that is the problem, isn't it?
That's the main one of contention. Well, they did it by round of fucking applause.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Zoom. It's not so you can fucking hear them because they're all muted.
It was no. They had somebody. I think they had somebody in the room, didn't they? Who went? Yeah.
They had 4 or 5 or 6 people or something
to put their thumbs
fucking thumbs up. I'm like, seriously? Can you get any more? I thought it was terrible with Sepp Blatter at the helm. This is obvious corruption at its finest.
Well, the thing was, so I think it was on Sky Sports. Somebody was saying that Sepp Blatter, when he announced Qatar, was almost a bit like, Qatar?
Yeah, he was fuming. Like, what the
Whereas
fuck is
Infantino was like, Saudi Arabia, yeah. And, a lot of sporting events are being held within Saudi Arabia, notably boxing. Also, the F1, I think, is
snooker,
moved.
Weirdly.
Yeah. There's lots and lots of things moving over to Saudi Arabia. And it was, with the Saudi Pro League, the emergence of that, it was always kind of going to happen. But what I don't feel like we've got assurances for is that the safety of people going over there. So, specifically those from the LGBTQ plus. We had the rainbow laces over here a couple of weeks ago. You had Ipswich captain completely refused to wear it. You had Mark Guay write "I love Jesus" on the armband, and entitled to their own opinions and thoughts and things like that. But it just strikes me as what is going on here? There is religion and belief, but there is also sort of like the protection of people and their own beliefs and rights and everything like that. But it's almost like interchangeable, depending on what's happening. Saudi Arabia, they've said, no, everyone's welcome. Okay, well, because you've said that, great, yeah, thanks. But you haven't changed any of your laws or any of your thoughts or ideologies or anything like that, have you? No, because you won't. And should you? Maybe not. But it still isn't right for a football team, for a nation of football fans, to go to a country where you're not going to be guaranteed protection.
No, I do agree with you. I mean, it's a very heavily political thing that I feel like we're definitely not qualified to really go into in depth about. On the basics, yeah, if you're a football fan from that community, you don't feel safe going there, so you probably wouldn't go. Same as when it was in Qatar. Like, you couldn't drink in most places. English football fans, we love a beer or 10 watching the games and stuff like that. But if you're from different backgrounds, different communities, yeah, you're probably not going to be welcome. And you're probably going to be ostracised and not be able to attend the games, realistically. Because
that's the problem.
They're not going to change their laws, and you shouldn't really expect them to either.
That's the problem, isn't it? My opinion is I would expect them to do that, and I would expect them to treat women in a different way. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I see it.
You can criticise me for it, and that's fine. But they're not going to do that, and they've got the capabilities to host a fantastic World Cup. just as Qatar did. That World Cup final in Qatar was probably the best World Cup final we will ever see.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. In terms of football, yeah. And the stadiums, looking at the stadium they're going to build, they look incredible, some of these.
Without doubt.
And the backgrounds and the backdrops and stuff of them, they look incredible.
Yeah, it will have to be played in the winter again. They've not confirmed it, but that will have to happen.
Which is the same issue as Qatar, isn't it? Yeah, and it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
But that shouldn't stop a nation from hosting it. The weather shouldn't stop a nation from hosting a competitive sport like that. It's just, is it sports washing? Is it all of this? There's a whole host of questions that's over it, and FIFA have gone, we're not going to politicize it, but we're going to give it to the highest bidder, and that seems to be who it is. And the FA backed it. Where's the FA's bollocks in all of this? They backed it and said, yeah, we're happy with it. Tuchel's come out and said, no, I support that decision from the FA. And you think, is it the right thing?
No, I agree. It's just, it seems mental. It just seems corrupt to me. End of story.
Yeah, disappointing.
But there's only one bid as well, which is strange.
Yeah,
for both World Cups.
Yeah,
why?
That seems to be a common thing now, doesn't it?
Does seem to be. I don't understand. Oh yeah, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but interesting. Nonetheless, after all of that, I will probably watch the World Cup.
Of course we will, because that's how we're made. We love football.
Yeah.
And we'll watch as much of it as we possibly can, won't we?
I just hope after all of that, football wins.
I don't want to go too in depth here, but what makes football a winner to you? What defines football winning?
What defines football winning? People are included, and everybody gets to have fun, and there is no discrimination whilst we're there. We're just there to watch the game, have fun, do what we've got to do, and watch a game of football. Fundamentally what we want to do, right?
Yeah, well said. Well said, William. Should we move on? Because I feel like this could get quite topical.
Yeah, but we're here for that. We're here for that. Fuck this. No, I'm only joking. Let's move on.
Let's talk about looking for jobs. Because I am joined by Gary O'Neill.
Yes, so...
Poor guy.
What a week for Gary O'Neill and his Wolves team to be involved in 2 fights in 2 different games.
Yeah.
At the end of each game, I kind of understand their frustrations.
Do you? Okay.
I think when you're losing and the decisions aren't necessarily going your way, not that I think that the decisions were necessarily completely wrong, but it's always one of those where you can look at it objectively from each angle and go, yeah, okay, I see a point. I can understand why you're angry and why you think that decision should have gone your way, whether there's a free kick or, in the build up to a play, or whether you've had a goal disallowed and it maybe shouldn't have been whatever it is. I can understand why you get annoyed, but you've got to keep yourself under control. Fundamentally, you're responsible for yourself and your own actions. So you've got to keep yourself under control. Aït-Nouri at the end of the Ipswich game, he was going mental. There were 2 people pushing him away and they couldn't really cut. He was so angry. He was able to kind of barge through them. They managed to get him away. And then you've got Cunha, who goes up and he elbows, I don't know who, I think it was the security for Ipswich. He goes and elbows him in the head and then takes his glasses away from him. And you just think, what are you
Why are you doing
that? Even if something's said, keep yourself under control.
Yeah. I feel like they're just in... I mean, we've obviously said it for a number of weeks on here that they're under pressure. We know that. We knew Gary O'Neill was under pressure, but we did still believe that they would come through. They just haven't, have they? They just haven't.
Not for the want of trying. That defensively they've been poor, and they've had a few decisions go against them. Gary O'Neill kept coming out and saying, "I'm never going to be a fan of VAR because it's screwed me over so many times." But then it almost felt like he knew his time was up at the end of the Ipswich game. In this interview where he kind of was saying, if my job is gone, then that's, I get the reasons why. But these players, I need to protect them. I'm the only one that can get them to do what they need to do. And they need to take responsibility for themselves because they've not been good enough. I think there was a spurned chance by, I think Strand Larsen missed a couple. And he's saying, I can build up that play, but if that player is in front of goal and spoons it over, what can I do? You think
he's not wrong, yeah.
He's not, but would you ever expect a manager to come out and say that about his team?
No, I wouldn't. No, that's the difference, isn't it? Yeah, you wouldn't expect that. You expect him to back your team, don't you? Yeah, it is tough. It must be so tough as a manager to be able to have to try and deal with that.
Yeah, the pressure is just, I don't know if we'll know pressure like it in that sense. Obviously, they get paid handsomely and, the rewards and the things that come with all of that. But, I mean, when you're down there and you're slogging every week and you're, training is top quality and you think we're going to win this weekend, there's no way we're going to lose to Ipswich. And then your team go out there and they lose to Ipswich and you just must just be like, well, that's my job gone. But also, I need to get across that if there's another employer out there, actually, it's not all my fault.
No, yeah.
Because he's only been managing for 3 years, I think. He got the job at Bournemouth after fashion designer Scott Parker left. Who, by the way,
with him?
He's obviously in charge again, isn't he? At football club, I can't remember who it is now. I was just about to say it. It's not Middlesbrough. They played Middlesbrough the other day. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Is it QPR?
Might be.
I can't remember.
I just love seeing him on the sideline. Just sporting his designer wear. Amazing.
Didn't we look up that jumper that you kept slating though was like £800 or something?
Yeah, and then Mika Richards was turned up wearing it, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was like, "It's pretty cool, actually. I might get myself one."
Yeah, I got one.
I remember you saying. What are you wearing? Just out of interest.
What am I wearing?
You were getting it. Yeah, you were getting something on the camera before we started recording. You conveniently are sitting further forward, so it's not on show now.
A jumper and a.
What make is it?
Cargo
trousers. Time to get the badge in, is it?
It doesn't matter. We can just move.
Go on, get the badge in, mate. Go on.
No. I don't need to. Get that badge in.
Dear.
Well done.
I wonder if we'll ever get taken off air.
I don't think people listen to get us taken off air, so we're all good.
No.
But just go back to O'Neill. I think he's a very good manager. I think he will be picked up again. Maybe have to start again, maybe in the Championship and work his way up. He did start right up in the Prem. I think there was a whole host of things. I think VAR did have an element of that, especially last season. That was a bit unfair, some of the things that happened to him. But he managed to pick the team up and he managed to get them going. But what happens, I think, and I think we're seeing similar with, the likes of Pep and Russell Martin, who we'll come on to, is when you're not winning and you've got outstanding players, because Cunha is fantastic. Ait-Nouri has had a pretty good season, and
he's very reliable, isn't he? Ait-Nouri.
They got Lamina. They've got who they had to drop the captaincy from Lamina after him and his actions after the West Ham game. There's lots of things that's happening there where it's the stress and the under pressure of the fans, the board, the manager. There's lots of pressure put on them. That it's quite hard to then, form is temporary, isn't it? They will get out of this rut that they're in, and that new manager bounce might just spur them on to do what they need to do. And I think they're going for the Al Shabab manager, aren't they? Pereira, is it?
Vitor Pereira.
Yeah, and he might come in, give them something that they need. They want to get him in quite quickly, so if he comes in, I think it's only going to cost them 800,000 in compensation to Al Shabab. So that might be it. What they need is just that different approach. And Gary O'Neill, unfortunately, wasn't able to just turn it around in time. But defensively, Wolves were poor.
They have been all season, really, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've had a lot of 4-0 drubbing. I think it's three games now. They've won 2 out of the last 15 or 16 games, and that's sacking form, isn't it?
Yeah. It's that transition. They're good at going forward, but when they break the other team breaks counters or pushes forward, that transition backwards isn't ideal. That's where they've been falling down, I think.
No, I agree. They're just left wide open, aren't they? That's the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do feel for him. So, as you said, we like him on this podcast, don't we? We've got a bit of a soft spot for him.
We do. Yeah.
A manager that I do not feel sorry for one little bit, because I think he is so stubborn. It's his own fault, is Russell Martin.
Yeah, and I think Ange kind of alluded to that fact, didn't he? After Tottenham were fantastic, but as fantastic as Tottenham were in that 5-0 win for Tottenham at St Mary's, he said that they play that way, and that suits us because we can go and get the ball, we can press. And they can't handle the press. They want to play out from the back, but they can't handle the press. And I think Russell Martin, again, at the end of the game, said, we play this way. We need to be able to play this way. We need to be able to handle playing this way, but we just can't do it. We can't seem to get ourselves out. And that's what just continuously happened. And you think, well, go long then.
It's poor
play
management.
to the strengths. Yeah, I think so.
So poor because, like, if there's a manager at work trying to put it into our real life terms, if you're trying to get your team, like for you, for example, HR, you specialise generally in HR, getting everyone to be a specialism in ER and doing nothing else. So when recruitment comes, you have no idea what to do because everyone just knows ER. You're like, no, well, we just ER. It's like, well, you can't just manage people out of the business. You need to get other people in. Like, you need to be adapt. You need to adapt to it. You need those different sides of things. But if you're only doing it one thing and one thing only, it's never going to work. You need to adapt. But he knows that's the problem because he's come out and said, yeah, we just can't play that way, but we need to learn to. But you're 16 games in the Premier League, or 15 games in the Premier League, and you've got, 4 points or something fucking stupid? 7 points, whatever. You need to realise this is not working. Or you're going to lose your job, and you deserve to.
I just want to say that ER isn't there to manage people out of their jobs. That is certainly not what we're there to do. And for my ER
I knew you'd
team, we are there for just more than that. But sometimes that is something that we have to try and accommodate.
Especially if someone's ill for a few weeks.
If it's Tony Mowbray, you're gone, mate.
Yeah, see you later, Tony. Big Tone. Ciao for now.
But all I will say is that there is something admirable almost about Russell Martin in the way that he didn't give up. He knew he could see the quality in his team to play out from the back and to play the way they wanted to do. And he continued with it. There's something admirable about that. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm just saying there's something admirable about him doing that.
I appreciate that. However, is that quality in that team to be able to do that?
No. I don't think it was the right thing to do, but he had faith right up until the end. And as George Michael once said, you got to have faith.
Faith. Yeah, you do.
Baby. Yeah, exactly.
Go on. Keep going.
So, yeah, that's that. So just moving away from those two and moving on into kind of the weekend games, what did you make of Ruben Amorim and his decision to leave Garnacho and Rashford out of the squad entirely? Because they didn't perform very well in training.
Well done. That sets a standard.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
I mean, that's bold. Very bold by a new manager, but he's got that, not the new manager bounce, but he's got the backing at the moment and the belief of, look, we're bringing you in to sort shit out. You do what you feel is best to do. And if they're not training, well, fuck off. You're not allowed. Because that would be a kick up the arse for both of them to say, shit, we can't get away with this anymore. Because Man United have been mediocre in all their efforts for 3, 4, 5 years now.
Plus.
There we go. And people like Diallo coming on and playing the game. And look at the goal. Brilliant. Because he did not stop till the end. He did it against, who was it a couple of weeks ago they played? Or was it last week? Didn't stop running the whole game. And then got a goal out of it. Because he created a goal because he didn't stop pressing. Yeah, that's what you need at 93 minutes. That's what you need still.
100%. I completely
Garnacho
agree.
was doing that last season. But he's obviously too cocky and too comfortable. Thinking, I'll just put in half the effort. You got to be careful, mate. You're going to be gone.
Yeah, I think, he's not said they're going to... He said that they are... they're not going to be in the team because they haven't trained to the standard that I want them to train to. And I think, fucking, if you... And that, by the way, was in the Manchester derby.
Derby, yeah.
And I thought it was an absolute genius strike. I think that does set a bit of a precedence of you want to play for Man United, because we're not talking about Southampton. We're not talking about some of the teams in the lower leagues. We're talking about Man United here, who are used to winning. Not recently, but they're used to winning, and people are the big guys go in the team. That's it. If you're a big player, you go in the team. Not anymore. I think it's good, and it seems to prove to be a bit of a genius stroke because, as you say, from the 88th minute, Man United were very good for those 5 minutes and absolutely smashed it.
They were. I think City they were poor. I mean, I think one of their probably highest goal scorers after Haaland is Guardiola, which is insane.
And he scored the header, didn't he? And Pep just looked annoyed at the way that they've scored. It was a ball into the box and a header in.
But sometimes you've got to do it. I mean, Haaland was absent from that game from a lot of that game.
He was pushed a lot, pushed and pulled away, yeah.
He was. And I think United played that perfectly from that aspect of the game and managed it. But for a lot of the time, it seemed like Haaland was almost imitating Harry Kane, dropping deep to get the ball a lot more. And I've not really seen that too often. And it was really interesting to see it because De Bruyne was further forward on a number of occasions.
Yeah, I've seen him drop deep, but yeah, you are right. He was a lot. He can't get the ball. This is the old traps that they're falling into. Is can't get the ball. Let's drop further back. But then when you drop further back, you've got no one forward, and they don't want to lump the ball forward to him because they like to play that style of football.
Mm.
But for the minute, confidence, form is temporary. That confidence that they've got just is not there.
It's such a good opportunity, isn't it, for sort of teams like Arsenal, who were so close to them for the last couple of years, to sort of capitalise on a really faltering City, quite frankly. When you're against a team that
before we move on to that, because I know you're desperate to get to talk about Arsenal, but what did you make of Pep's comments after the game?
No. I'll be honest, just to clarify, I'm not desperate to talk about Arsenal at all. I actually want to slate us at the moment because it's fucking frustrating. Yeah, I think Pep he's in uncharted waters. He doesn't know how to deal with this. And I think he is, I can imagine, that he is properly punishing himself at home. I can imagine he is at the office at 18, 19 as they trying to sort out ways of playing and trying to work out a system. Sometimes, and he's been guilty of it before, of overthinking. Just go back to what you do.
Yeah, but that's not working. He's trying lots of new things. I mean, they had Nunes at left back, didn't they?
Yeah, why? Why are you doing this? Stop overcomplicating shit. I appreciate they've still got quite a few injuries, so it's very difficult. And that's not including Rodri in this, just generally. They've got a few injuries and, form for like Phil Foden, it doesn't exist anymore. Jack Grealish hasn't scored for 45 games. So they've got a lot of players that are out of form. But Kyle Walker, for example, is just pathetic this season.
Yeah, his
what was that at the end of the game?
Altercation.
Towards the end?
Was that with Fernand? No, it was with Højlund. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pathetic.
Yeah. He put his head there first as well. So Højlund met it, and then he falls on the floor. And he was given a yellow card for the foul on Højlund, and Højlund was given a yellow card for the head. I'm not going to call it.
You've made the action, aren't you? That's the thing.
But he just, but Kyle Walker, I felt, did it first. He just sort of met him.
Yeah, Kyle Walker was waiting like that for him. Højlund did it back, and then literally stood there for a good, probably 2 seconds, and then Walker was like, "Oh, actually, I could dive on the floor here."
It's unbelievable.
But how pathetic was that dive?
Should that be a second yellow card?
What, for
simulation?
It should be a 10-game ban for being pathetic. That should be like early retirement. See you later, mate. You're off. How many games we got? 21, 22 games or something this season? You're out. See you later, mate. Bye, mate.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But going back to Pep, I think, we're just watching him throughout the game. He looked nervous. I think he was out early after the first half had finished. He came out and he was just sat there kind of watching. And what I've noticed as well, and I don't know if you've noticed, when a manager's under pressure, you see like the little iPads set up just in front of their seat. They're just looking at that.
Yeah,
just
constantly.
What do I do?
Yeah, it's like,
What
I've got to
do I
see
do?
something. I need some inspiration. I'm just going to look down. Just keep looking down. Don't watch the shit game anymore. I just got to watch something. Maybe he's just like watching old clips of like his prime Barcelona with Messi or something.
Maybe he's got us on YouTube. All right.
To be right, I did notice our plays went up last week, so get up and
You never know.
You never know, mate. You never know.
But yeah, okay. So that was an entertaining game, by the way.
That was massive win for United.
Yeah, I thought that they probably actually deserved the penalty a little bit earlier on than when they got it. I can't remember the scenario now, but I seem to recall
Fernandez was taken down. I think it was, wasn't it? And I thought that was a pen.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
and I also thought that Fernandez was really unlucky with that miss just before he got the penalty.
Oh, how close was that?
Yeah, should have buried that. But and Ahmad's goal. Is that contender for goal of the week? I think it is.
For me, yeah. For me,
definitely
yeah,
a contender.
I think it beats the one that you spoke about earlier, personally.
James Maddison?
Better than him. And the other one.
Duran?
What's his name? Duran, yeah. John Duran.
Yeah. Oh, so I changed my mind to James Maddison because the angle of James Maddison's last goal was like unreal.
Yeah, I just think that the technique with Diallo's was better, especially taking into consideration the atmosphere of the game, the occasion, and the time of it, and the skill to do it.
Are you saying Amad Diallo is
For
our
me,
goal
it's
of the
Diallo.
week?
For me, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
you have to agree with it, don't you?
Yeah. All right. Congratulations, Amad Diallo, for your FDP goal of the week. The trophy / medal come certificate will be in the post to you.
When you contact us, we will not
Don't
post it
forget
until you contact us.
to
It's
contact
confirmed
us
details.
to give us your details, and when you can get on the podcast to talk about the goal. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Can I just say, right, if we were to get Diallo onto the podcast or someone like that, so listening to like other podcasts when they have guests on, and it's like 45 minutes long and they've got like Rodri on or someone like unreal, and you're like, 45 minutes you've spoken to Rodri for? I would be like, we would be there for about 6 hours and just release every single thing that we ever asked him.
Yeah, literally every second. We'd probably make about 6 episodes out of it, and that'll be YouTube clips for all of 2025.
Yeah, and people will be really happy with that.
Of course they will. Of course they will, 100%. They don't have to listen to any new content. They can just regurgitate the shit that we've spoken about. But maybe this means they're not doing any more episodes. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Newsflash, guys. We're going to be here next year. What game do you want to talk about?
Should we go on to the Liverpool-Fulham game?
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Robson's red card before we go anywhere? Like straight red.
So, difficult one for me, because obviously William Saliba got a similar, not the same, but a similar decision against him with, was it Evan Nilsson?
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing, was it Muniz who
I think took so, down? Fouled, yeah.
Was it him? Anyway,
I can't remember.
There was no way he was going to get that ball.
I thought exactly the same when I was watching it. I was like, he's not getting that. That's not his to win.
Yeah.
And is that then a goal scoring opportunity? I'd argue not.
I would not be surprised if that was overturned.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one. Big 2 points dropped for Liverpool. However, they will feel that that's a point gained because they're down to 10 men and came back twice to level.
And were
they look
arguably
better.
The better team.
Yeah. Fulham were awful considering they had an extra person.
Yeah. They weren't that good. I mean, the Pereira goal was fantastic.
Lovely finish.
Quite lucky with the little deflection, but it was still very good. And Muniz was scored a good goal. I thought Robinson had a great game, but
is he the best left back in the league at the moment?
Who, Robinson?
Yeah, Anthony Robinson.
Is he?
I think he's been quality this season.
That is a shout and a half.
It's just a question, not a statement. It's a question.
That is because now you've said that, every single left back in the Premier League has just gone from my brain. I'm like, who plays left back? But I don't know. Is he?
He's consistent. He does what he needs to do week in, week out. And you don't really hear about him because he doesn't make any mistakes.
No, fair. I mean, it's a fair point. I can't argue with it at the moment, but I'll have a think about it.
Argue about it next week, or in about 20 minutes you'll go, actually, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I might do. But Diogo Jota, welcome back. What a finish.
He's ridiculous, isn't he?
Yeah.
He just turns up. He's like, oh, yeah, lads, I'm back from injury. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to stay. Do you want me to come on? Yeah, I'll come on and score. No worries. Yeah, I'll be there. Cody Gakpo's looking good as well this season.
Yeah.
He's having some really good moments.
Yeah, I do agree with that. He definitely has. And Liverpool just looked really good. Mo Salah got an assist. He was very good.
What a ball in.
Yeah.
What a delivery in.
They play it so well, don't they, Liverpool? Because they can play out for the back. But if they're a bit like, oh, do you know what, this isn't really on, they'll launch it long. They don't have any fear. I think Van Dijk has been exceptional this season, along with Trent and some of Trent's balls that he's been able to get in.
He's ridiculous. His passing range and ability is it's unmatched in football at the moment, I think.
It's unmatched from football for many years. I can't think of a better passer of a ball for a long time.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah.
I think English passer of the ball, I think he's arguably better than Beckham.
No.
Passer of a ball. don't know. He's close.
I can't believe you're even. Yeah, I'm going to move on because this is angering me that you're even talking about it like this. It's insane.
I think it's closer than you think. I think if you were to go back and have a look at some of his distribution,
I'm not saying he's not good, but Beckham's on a different planet. It's a different era as well. What he was doing then was insane.
Yeah.
And nobody considered that to even be possible. The game's moved on, so there's things that you see and go, well, you should be able to do that. We'll come back to it. Or let us know what you think in the comments, because I think this will be an interesting debate, actually. We didn't plan this, not in our notes.
It's not in our notes, and we know how you hate to go away from the notes.
Well, it's just easy. We write notes for a reason, but this is quite an interesting one.
It is. Yeah. Can I ask you, have you seen all of the games?
No comment.
Right. Should we move on to the last game that we're going to talk about?
Go on then.
Chelsea Brentford.
Did you want to talk about the Arsenal game?
I forgot about the Arsenal game. Should we leave that to the end? Let's leave that to the end.
Well, maybe not talk about it. It's okay.
Maybe not talk about it. Yeah, it doesn't have to. Chelsea Brentford.
Yeah.
So I thought Chelsea, played very well. I thought Casado's turned into that sort of player that they bought, with that money.
It's really annoying, isn't it? Because this season, Ali's been banging on about it, hasn't he, in our little group chat. And, obviously we'll always shoot him down to say, no, he's talking shit. He's talking a sense. Caicedo looks insane this season.
He has been solid.
Really annoying.
And Enzo, to an extent as well, has started to put in a real shift from last season, certainly.
It seems to be since the international break, the October one, he seems to have come back and all of a sudden he's a different player. Because he was out from the team. He's only playing Europa League game, or Europa Conference League, sorry. Clarify that little dig. But yeah, he was only playing in that third tier competition. But now he's come back into the sort of starting Prem side. And he just seems to make him tick alongside Caicedo, doesn't he?
Yeah, they do seem to be playing really well together. And Nicholas Jackson is stepping up his game as well with, nice little finish. That was
that chance just went over the corner. What a shot that was, though.
What I need to ask you, should Mark Cucurella have been off the pitch before he was?
I don't know.
I think he should have been. I was surprised that 2-footed tackle was only a yellow card.
But the thing is, I feel like, I don't know whether you've noticed it, but whenever it's Cucurella, everyone lets him off.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It just strikes me as that sort of like hyperactive kid on the football pitch that just runs around, makes a mistake, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. They're like, sorry, it's only Mark, don't worry about it.
It's unreal.
He gets away with so much shit. It's ridiculous. But I do, whenever I see it, I just think, that's right. And I have it in my brain, ask Cucurella, he doesn't really mean that. I know, it sounds ridiculous. I feel ridiculous saying it. But do you agree with me with that sort of mentality? You sort of see it and think,
no,
right, it just happened.
I don't know. I didn't. I mean, he scored a great goal, but I felt like he should have been off. And then at the end, right at the end, where Brentford were about to launch the ball forward, Mark Cucurella ended up on the floor, and the referee called it. He said, "Yeah, no, we're going to give you a free kick." I'm like, "Are you?"
Yeah, what happened? What actually happened on that part? Because I didn't see it. I just saw him on the floor.
Not a lot, really. I think it was Janelt was meant to have
just a little nudge,
put an arm up or something like that, and he gave it, and I just thought, wow, that was Janelt made his feelings very clear on that. But I thought Chelsea, I'm not going to say that they got away with one, but they almost got away with one there.
Yeah, I think Brentford looked a lot better away from home for the first time this season, really, and it's a lot more compact. And Brian Mbeumo.
He can't stop scoring, can he?
He can't stop scoring.
He's good. He's doing really well. But so, I mean, saying that for Chelsea, they are playing really, really well. Cucurella's at left back.
He is at left back. I knew you'd come back to this eventually. I think Robinson's been more reliable.
What about Luca Dean?
He's been in and out of the team, though, isn't he?
I don't know. He's been a bit more. He's been a bit more in.
Isn't Dean your right back?
Is he? I thought he was left back.
No, Matty Cash is left, isn't he?
Nah, Matty Cash is right. He had a shit game, by the way.
Oh, maybe Luke Dean is left back then.
Villa were pretty shit, and Matty Cash, fucking hell.
Did you see Emery when the second goal went in? Smashing the side.
Yeah. I thought, though, did you think it was a foul on Matty Cash for the lead up to the goal?
No.
You didn't? Okay.
Well, I really don't.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure. What was the other one? Where was it? Was it against Chelsea? Who was it? Where? Oh no, it was the Man United game. It was who's their defender? Oh God, not John Stones. The other defender.
Maguire.
No, Man City. Diaz. Ruben Diaz.
Yes.
That was a pen.
That's a pen.
That was a
all
pen.
day. That's a pen, and I don't know how that wasn't given.
I agree.
Diaz missed the ball completely and literally just took his leg out.
Yeah, I agree. That was a pen.
Yeah, that was a pen. Dodgy calls as per usual.
Yeah. I think we might have already spoken about that, but it just popped into my head as I was talking. I was like, was that this game? But it wasn't.
No.
Anything else you want to say, Benjani?
No, I think we're done. Are we done before Christmas now as well, I think, aren't we?
Nah, we got another one next week. Next Monday.
Are we going to scrape that in, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I hope to.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Come out. Well. It'll be a Christmas Eve speciale.
Here we go.
I think we should wear something festive.
What's it going to be called?
I'm confused.
What's the episode going to be called? Our Christmas special.
Christmas Eve speciale, or
here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, I've got it.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
It's Merry Vietnamese.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
26 seconds later, he's finally clocked up.
I was so confused. I was thinking, what is it? It's Merry Vietnamese, isn't it? That's what it is.
Merry Vietnamese.
Yes, Merry Vietnamese.
Oh dear.
Thank you, Ben. You heard it here first.
Cheers,
that is
guys.
Next week's episode confirmed. The title confirmed. I'll get the artwork drawn up right now so we can't change our mind. And we'll see you next week.